Good morning. It is Wednesday, the 28th of February, 2024. It's 9 a.m., which means it's time for our mindful moment. I'm Dr. Jonathan Zenz. I am the senior minister at Unity of Tucson, a loving and inclusive spiritual center right here in the heart of Tucson, Arizona. Excuse me. And the mindful moment is an opportunity I take each weekday to join with you in this virtual forum to engage in some spiritual practice, to talk about a spiritual idea, and also then actively pray affirmatively. And that's what we're here to do. That's what I'm here to do. And I do this every weekday because it helps me be accountable and consistent in my own spiritual practice. And that accountability and consistency has enhanced the quality of my life. And so that's why I choose to share it with you. Whether you're watching live or on the replay, I would love for you to post a comment and let me know that you are here. Who's here today? I don't know yet. Oh, there's a comment that has come through. Let's see. Yes, of course, it's the glorious William Summers. Good morning to you, beautiful person, as well. Grateful to have you here this magnificent day. Sherry, it's a glorious day. Indeed it is. Yes. And we're going to have some blessings in the desert today. I think we're going to get some rain, which is always a glorious blessing in the desert. Reverend Jerry, good morning to you. Grateful to see you. Anna, good morning to you as well. I do, of course, want to remind you, and I invite you to hear this reminder as though you've never heard me say it before, although I say it every single time I see you. The reminder is this: you are love, you are light, you are life, you are magnificent. And I am so grateful that you shine your light and share your magnificence. Keep doing that. Speaking of shining your light. I don't want you to, I haven't started making any advertising graphics for this or anything yet, but we do have a special a spring concert that's going to be happening on April 19th, just double checking my calendar, April 19th, Friday, April 19th. I'm just giving you a heads up to save the date. That concert is going to be called Shine, and it's about how the many ways in which we shine our light. So, blessing, what a blessing it is to see you. Greetings to you. I'm grateful to see you, our magnificent Unity of Tucson member in Nigeria. It's always a delight to share time with you. And Sherry, the rain will be in the pockets where you are not actively outside. That's what I'm going to hold for you. I'm sorry, I actually don't control the rain, but we'll try. So today what I wanted to talk about, so I've got a class that's actually starting up in, I'm in the middle of a class right now. Of course, I'm teaching Emerson's essays, and that's foundational for me. I love Emerson's essays, but another author that I absolutely love, and he's a foundational, for me, a foundational voice in the New Thought movement. He was the first president of the International New Thought Alliance, and he was a judge in India. And when he retired from the bench, he went into the study of metaphysics and New Thought, and he became a prominent voice in New Thought. And that gentleman that I'm talking about is Thomas Troward, and he gave series of lectures. You can read the transcripts of his lectures, but the class that I'm going to be starting, it's going to be at the end of March, is going to be a class based on this book, The Creative Process in the Individual. And there's an important thing that he offers in this. I was just, sometimes I just open my book and see what I've highlighted in the past. And this is highlighted and has asterisks written next to it. And this is actually a very important construct for how I choose to be and how the manner in which I choose to teach, and what I really encourage people to do. He wrote this: the really earnest student, and he's talking about students of metaphysics or New Thought, he says, the really earnest student must never forget the maxim that Principle is not bound by precedent. Principle is not bound by precedent, he writes. If it were, we should still be primitive savages. What does he mean by that? Well, when we talk about principle, we're talking about God. We're talking about the creative principle of all that is. And when we say the principle is not bound by precedent, essentially it's saying that there can be no limitation based on anything from the past, that the nature of the divine, the nature of God, is infinite forward movement, and that there is nothing that limits it. However, think about the ways in which we, as expressions of the great creative principle, limit ourselves. So while principle itself is never bound by precedent, we can limit our own expression and experience of ourselves as this divine principle in form by relegating ourselves to what has preceded us. So what I'm talking about is, how much do you drag your past, the past ideas, the past thoughts, the past beliefs into the present moment and bind yourself up in ways that perhaps are not so constructive? I mean, it's a habitual way of being. It's a habitual way of thinking. And while principle is not bound by precedent, what I would love to do is start setting precedent for our forward movement that is not limiting in any way. Because I think our natural tendency is going to be, as expressions of the infinite, our natural tendency is going to be limiting ourselves based on precedent. So what is the precedent we are setting? Is the precedent we are setting in alignment with our highest quality of life, or is it not? So that's a question. And are you willing to set aside that precedent when you need to? You know, precedent actually helps me live in this thing called life. It does. And I am also willing to set aside precedents that no longer serve me. So that's really the big question, the big message. What will you do today? How will you choose to proceed today? Are you going to let yourself be limited by your past? Or are you willing to step forth into a greater expression of self without any limitation? You are beyond limitation. You are beyond limits. There is nothing that limits you. Do you believe that? There is nothing that limits you except your own thinking that is limited. It's the only thing that limits you. And so perhaps consider a different way of being today, a different way of expressing. Consider something new. That's what new thought is all about. A new way of approaching life in every instant moment. I mean, even if I even think about it this way, what I said 60 seconds ago has no bearing on how I choose to be right here in this present moment. And this present moment leads to future expression, but I'm always ever in the present. And so there's nothing ever that limits me except my decision to be limited, whether I do it consciously or below the level of awareness. So there we have it. So there we are. Reach out and say hello to Beryl. Grateful to see you. Wonderful Wednesday to you. Beth, wonderful Wednesday to you as well. Anne, love it. Goodbye to all yeah buts. Yeah, I gave a talk on the buts a couple Sundays ago. Goodbye to all the yeah buts once and for all. Goodbye to limits. Yes, we needn't continue to limit ourselves. So let's pray on that. If it's safe and comfortable for you to close your eyes, I invite you to do so as a practice for turning the attention to the inner life. And it is the inner life that is flowing forth into expression is the outer life. And so if I desire change in the outer, I realize what must be changed is that which is within me. And so if you'd like to close your eyes, feel free. And as I relax into this present moment, I release anything that has preceded this moment. I let go of any anticipation for what may unfold, and I choose to be here now fully. I relax into this here and now moment. I remind myself, I am here. I am here. I am here. And in this here and now moment, there is an expanded awareness beyond the physical limitations, the limitations in mind, to a greater understanding of the infinite. The infinite love, the infinite light, the infinite peace, the infinite power, the infinite beauty, the infinite joy. These are attributes of the infinite creative source I call God. And I understand God as the creative power of love. And it is who and what we are, for there can be no separation from the infinite. We are that which is. Each and every one of us is the I am that I am. We are that we are. Rooted in this understanding, I choose to allow present moment awareness and living in everything I think, everything I say, and everything I do. And I actively let go of anything that has preceded this moment that is not in pure 100% absolute constructive thinking that is enhancing the quality of life. Anything that seems to be detracting from the quality of my life that I may be unexpectedly dragging into my present moment, I choose in this moment to release it, to let it go now. And I know that I am endowed with the power and presence of the divine spirit, because I am the divine spirit. And so the word I speak right now is infused with the creative power of the infinite. And so I let go, I release, I trust, I know, I let go of anything that is not in service to the good. I hold firm in my resolve that principle is not bound by precedent, and I am the outflow of principle. And so I am not bound. None of us is bound by anything from our past. I choose to open. I choose to think anew. I choose to allow new thought, new belief, new feeling, to allow divine ideas to demonstrate themselves in unexpected ways. I choose this. I let go. I trust. I know. And it is with magnificent gratitude and appreciation overflowing from within that I allow the unfoldment of this word spoken, this energy of creation expressed, to do its perfect work in the expression of my life and in the lives of each and every one of us. I let go. I let it be. I trust it. And I affirm it by saying, and so it is. Amen. So it is. Well, always a delight to share this time with you. I do want to say hello to Reverend Mary Beth. Thank you for being here. Grateful to see you this glorious day. A lot of things that are happening here at Unity of Tucson. You have a couple more days where you can register for the 12 Powers class, which begins this Saturday at 9 a.m. No, not 9 a.m. It's 10 a.m. It starts at 10 a.m. Saturday and will continue for several weeks. It's the 12 powers are attributes of the divine that were identified and articulated and put into print by Charles Fillmore. The work that we're going to be doing in the 12 Powers class is out of the book Divine Audacity by Linda Martella Whitsett. And it's a wonderful exploration of how these attributes of the divine are also attributes of each and every one of us, and we get to actively use them in our lives. So would love to see you there for that class. It's every Saturday, 10 a.m. till noon, starting this Saturday. Also, Dance Zen, which is our monthly freeform dance experience, the first Saturday of every month at 6 p.m., guided by our very own Sherry Hoffman. Grateful to see you here today, Sherry. I will put up your message. Beautiful. You are beautiful. Focusing on freedom of movement and allowing yourself to just be, allowing yourself to do what is right for you in terms of physical activity and movement. It's a great experience. So join Sherry for Dance Zen that night. Blessing, grateful to see you. And yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. The other thing I want to let you know about is we do have, this is an in-person only event. This is not going to be a live streamed event, but we're having a satsang on Wednesday, March 13th, 6 p.m. And it is going to be guided by self-described traveling monk Brian Lotman. And so we would love to have you there. That is an event that is on a suggested donation basis. So, feel free to show up, and we would love to have a donation. And if that is not suitable, if that doesn't work for you, that's okay too. We want to bless the world with the spiritual experience. So there we are. I am deeply grateful for this time. I'm grateful for the opportunity to share with you, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. I'll be back at 9 a.m. right here, 9 a.m. Arizona time, on Facebook, YouTube, and our website. All right. Peace and blessings, everybody.